All right, so continuing on with the showcase, I'll show a couple of more examples of applications for LastMile. So this is one more example. Let's open this up. Again, every application can be opened up with its preview. All of this stuff is configurable. Like I said, there's a huge amount of detail that's not been shown as this one, but you know, here's another example of this one looks more like what you would expect an application to look like, and it actually has a database table with the data displayed inside of it, just as you would expect. Let's open this up and see what the data actually looks like. There's a data table object, which represents this data table. And like I said, all this stuff it spits out standard, view and beautify component tags. So nothing out of the ordinary. You basically get standard output out of the object model of the application. So let's open this object, which represents this database table. It's actually more complex than that, so I will try to take a look at where the actual data is. Okay, the data is represented as part of your view model. So the view model itself is an object, so you can open that up. And let's see. That's the actual table data, which is just JSON. So I can open this up, and it shows it as your standard JSON data. Now, I could actually change something here. So let's come back to this original view here. Let's say I want to change calories label. I could do that, add an X to the end of it, and hit save. And it will bubble up all the way up to this, right? It outputs the update and the application. So as I said, this stuff is really, really powerful. You can, as a developer, you can tap into the rendering of your application and even make changes in different places. And like I said previously, all of this is backed by schemas, which means you get a lot of helpers as you're constructing your application. So here's an example of what a schema does for you. It tells you all the stuff that you can add to an object. You don't have to guess it. For certain types of objects, let's say like a settings type object, you can even right click and it will expose all the properties for you. And again, all of this stuff comes from schemas. That's really something that's important to take a note of, because the Autolearn framework itself may be complex. It has a ton of different UI components with different settings, but if you have an environment that is powered by schemas that helps you, it's currently not complete, but it can even give you things like documentation. So here are all the properties for this particular object, and if the schema has descriptions in there, you'll even have it here, right? And we're planning to add some additional plugins that will provide more rich documentation in context, which means when you look at your application model, depending on where you are within the application structure, you'll actually have actual documentation that's just relevant to that part of your application. It's very, very flexible. You can add code in addition to the object model. You can inject code however you want. There's no limitation, and it sits on top of the standard IDE type environment, right? So this is a file system view. Again, there is a lot of details that I don't want to get into, but if you get to our website, you can see some examples of all the documentation that covered the product and the technology as a whole. So here's the same application rendered within the browser as in full. I'll show a couple more examples of other applications. Let's see, I've already opened this up here. Let's take this, open this up. Again, everything is an object in this environment. And when I say it's an object, I mean it's an actual object. Again, the example is not shown here, but I could, for instance, write code and invoke this object model, and it will spit out a plain old object, JVM based object for me, and I can actually modify these nodes and do things with them even before the application is rendered. Again, all of it covered in our documentation. So here are some other examples with more interesting stuff. So here's a dashboard, which it's just a Google chart based dashboard. Let's see. We can open this up in the browser to show something. Again, this is a tab control. Tab control, as with everything, is powered by a schema. Every type of UI control can have its own schema, and the developer of the RAD kit has the flexibility to design the schema however they want. It's up to you. If I wanted to add a new tab, I'll just click on that and it'll say new tab, and I'll change the labels here and it'll create a new tab for me. So here's this application. First tab, second tab. You can even throw in emojis within the structure. So let's see. And as I said earlier, there's no limitation in terms of what you can do. You can build full-featured applications on the platform. The Solvent platform as a whole is an end-to-end platform, which means there's middleware, there's the application server, there is the IDE environment, and then you have these RADKit type systems, all of it combined to give you something that you can use and basically, turn out applications quite easily. It's very powerful. It makes you really, really fast to build these high quality applications. I think easily you can find your developers being able to churn out applications really quickly. Stuff that probably would have taken them, possibly weeks. I could see it being easily, done in this environment. Maybe in a matter of days. It's pretty cool. I haven't delved into all this stuff in these demos, as these are really just showcases, but we plan on producing more videos that get into in depth of what the platform can do. Thank you.